I've got a confession to make, actually. Let me get this real quick. We'll save that for a minute. I've got a confession to make. I have been going behind your back. I have a second YouTube channel, and I've been working on it for the last 3 months. As of last night, I finally hit 10,000 views, which means I can now monetize off of that. I can make money from that. Of course, what's funny is it's only got 23 subscribers. So it's gonna be a long way to build that channel. But in that channel, you're getting the other version of me. For those of you who say, I wish you'd talk about stuff other than hair loss. I like the hair loss stuff, but I wish you'd talk about other stuff too. If you feel that way, feel free to check it out. It's Family Friendly Daddy Blog. That's the YouTube channel. And that's also the name of my blog. And what's funny is originally this YouTube channel was intended to be an extension of my blog, Family Friendly Daddy Blog. But then the hair loss videos took off and I abandoned the whole theme of my blog. But the other channel is a true extension of my blog. And if you, again, want to look it up on YouTube, Family Friendly Daddy Blog. One of the things I'm talking about a lot on there right now, and it's really cool and really mind-opening, eye-opening, is talking about something called identity protective cognition, which sounds very nerdy, but it's very awesome. Let's just do this right now though. A video I made called Hair Loss. You should totally care what people think. So Dovax, I like Dovax. Dovax is a new commenter, and I like what Dovax has to say. Here's something he recently said on the video I just mentioned. He said this, quote, "Probably they say that because they've watched videos where girls act like all they care about is hair. Like that Fozy YouTube video where all the girls tell him that he needs to grow hair and they say bald men are less attractive." Okay, so there we go. It is so raining, but as long as I keep the selfie stick upwards, I'll be wet, but I don't care. I'd rather make this video than stay dry. Mainly because I'm kind of a slave to you because of the free market. I noticed my ratings dripped this weekend because I didn't make any new hair videos. So, free market, I'm telling you. All right. So, absolutely, I agree with Dovex. Remember what I told you all, and there's nearly 2,000 of you now. This is the way I perceive things. Most of you, and see, we got to work through this. We got to get through this before we can move forward together. We have to get through this, okay? Most of you believe that women are not attracted to bald men. That will keep you for a woman from being attracted to you. Even though with all the interviews I've done, and they all say the same thing of what they're actually attracted to, your mind goes into a glaze once you hear them say that being bald isn't a big deal, and that it has not prevented them from dating a bald guy. You turn your brain off when you hear that, okay? And we need to address that because how do I say this so that you'll believe me? That's the struggle I have. Before I get there, let's do this real quick. I want to cover a few more things too about this whole concept. I have mentioned a documentary, and I don't think it's on YouTube anymore. It's called Unhung Hero. It was about a guy who was very insecure about the size of his, and so he goes traveling the world to find out what women really think about men who have a slightly smaller than average, and it's the same thing as his hair loss channel. It's like chasing something that is all an illusion to begin with. The fact that women would turn you down because you don't have enough hair. They actually care about all these other things, like you believing in yourself, having goals, being funny, taking care of them, and all of these things. And yet you're focusing on the hair stuff. And it's the same thing with this Unhung Hero. I wish you could watch it, but like I said, I don't think it's on Netflix. You might see it on YouTube. It's the same concept. If you were watching it, you'd say, wow, this guy's making a big deal out of nothing. And that's how I think a lot of you are with the way you perceive that women perceive you, because you perceive that you have hair loss, which most of you don't actually have. Maybe you're beginning Norwood 1 because you've sent me the picture so I would know, right? And then B, if this is the second point, the other thing that we have to address is, why would you want to be chasing a woman that cares that much about your hair to begin with? If that's truly what she believed, then she's not someone you'd want, because she'd be very superficial if she really did care about that. But it's easier to believe that all women are lying instead of believing that maybe a few actually care about that more than a man being supportive and and making her laugh and taking care of her and all of those things. It's easier to believe if you've been blinded, and that's where we get to have fun. Remember, you're welcome to check out my other channel, Family Friendly Daddy Blog, and you'll see several videos that I've made about, you just look for this phrase, identity, protective cognition. Identity, protective cognition. Just check that out. Several videos I've made. I'm exploring this and I'm expanding. I'm 100% committed to this channel, but this is happening too. If you want, like I said, if you like me and my channel enough and you want to explore stuff beyond hair loss stuff, you can check out that. So on there, look for those videos. Let's close the video by talking about identity, protective cognition. This is your official introduction to this on this channel. So here's what this means. It means that if you fundamentally believe something and it's attached to you emotionally, then anything that anyone says that goes against that belief system, anything they say, it only builds up what you already believe. It reinforces your pre-existing beliefs. I'll give you an example. As you all know, I'm a vegan. I've been a vegan for almost, what is it, 4.5 years, and a vegetarian for nearly 6. Okay? But when some people find that out, they get all emotional and deflective and defensive. Not that I care if they become a vegan, but what happens is it's an attack against their identity. See, that's why that happens. That's why you only reinforce someone's belief when you try to tell them something that goes against their fundamental beliefs, because it's an attack upon their identity. So what's happening in essence is you're putting up with it, which is amazing. You're putting up with me attacking your identity is what's happening. Most of you believe that girls care so much about your hair loss that they forget all the other stuff that actually matters. You being funny, you having a good job, a good skill set, being funny, all those things I always talk about. Because why? Because of your identity protective cognition. Like, you're so wrapped up in this thing that's not real that you're willing to protect it and for your own beliefs to be reinforced. Which, here's what I'm trying to figure out, and I really want to set this up, but I need to find a girl to interview who's, early 20s, single, and I need to ask her what she finds attractive in a man. And then when I get to the question about what if he's bald, I need to just drill the question. You're lying. You're lying. That's not really how you feel. 2,000 of these guys believe you're lying. You're lying. So I'm telling you, until you can move past this bias that you have. Well, I made that video last week talking about how some of you technically have graduated my program. You don't really have to keep watching my videos. You've got enough confidence now, you realize that your identity isn't on hair loss, it's all these other things. But for those of you who really need to keep watching, you're the ones who still believe the lie that girls care more about hair loss than all the things that I keep talking about. So now you know that I've been going behind your back, and I've got another channel that I'm growing on the side, but it won't interfere with this channel because this channel makes me more money. But the new phrase we're going to be talking about a lot, it's very important: identity protective cognition. I'm going to disappear.